The Houston Texans, it starts with protecting C.J. Stroud. New offensive coordinator Nick Caley has come in and given C.J. Stroud more of the responsibility when it comes to setting protections. They have to figure out a way to keep him clean. He took way too many hits in that game early on, and it doesn't give him the opportunity to get the ball out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are coming. Todd Bowles draws it up, brings people from all over the place. They have to get this corrected from week one.
Let's go to the Pats. They lost to Vegas in week one. Dan, how do they avoid the same fate Sunday in Miami?
Well, getting better weather. They were in a torrential downpour in New England this past weekend. I'd say number one, somebody opposite Kayshon Boutte's got to become a viable threat down the field. Steph looked okay, but Kayshon was the guy that Drake May, when he wanted to get some chunk throws, was looking for. Someone else, wide receiver-wise, has to step up in that regard. Number two, they have to find a quick passing game for this offense. It's not going to be a dominant run game, but to get some efficient pass game, Drake May's got to play a little quicker with the throws, and that's going to help their offense sustain some drives.
Sheffy, the Cowboys couldn't pull off the upset in Philly last week. What issues do they face as they try to avoid an 0-2 start?
Listen, this is a team that lost DeRon Bland, the nickelback, so that's going to be a problem for the Cowboys on Sunday as they try to avoid that 0-2 start. They'll have to replace Bland, who could be out multiple weeks due to a foot injury that he suffered in practice on Monday. But here's what the Cowboys can lean into. There haven't been many quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott has been against the New York Giants. If we go back to 2017, Dak is 15-1 against the New York Giants in the starts. They get the Giants in their home opener, and the numbers in history favor Dak Prescott.
I hear you. The one thing is that Giants defensive front, different deal these days. All right, something we'll have to give when the Bears and the Detroit Lions face off on Sunday. Both teams lost their openers. So let's start on the Bears side. Dan, what needs to change for Caleb Williams this week?
His body has to catch up with his eyes. And that's something that stood out on Monday night against the Vikings was his eyes were so hurried, and he's playing catch-up trying to get himself in position to throw, and that's something he struggled with. So I want you guys to see how quickly Caleb catches the snap. He's ready to throw right now. Now, when he's ready to throw, these guys are 1 and 2 yards downfield. There's no timing to that, but right now his eyes are telling him, get off, get off, get off. And even though if he had a little bit more patience, he would have had DJ Moore there, but he's already panicked backside. Now, it leads to a completion and all that, but that's not the premise of the play. Once again, look how quick his eyes are, ready to throw right now. He's 2 yards down the field, he's 3 yards down the field. So his eyes tell him, I got to get off, because the timing of my eyes or clock are speeding up. And now the natural reaction, we'll find one of those two guys, and again, he scrambles around and makes a play. But that's what I'm saying, the lower half isn't connected to his upper half. Another opportunity, there goes the motion, Caleb wants to throw right now. His eyes are telling him to throw the ball, but those guys are 3 and 4 yards down the field. And so that he feels sped up because he's been staring in a certain direction for so long. I think this has a little bit to do with young player, new offense, trying to do the right thing, But you want to make sure that his eyes slow down a little bit, play fast, not hurried, and then the lower half has got to be in sync with it. That's something for Bears fans to pay attention to this weekend.
As we told you on Monday Night Football, he's watched a ton of Matthew Stafford film for footwork help, trying to see everything that Matthew does. But still, it's hard to execute in-game.
And this is why all season we've said it's just going to take hundreds of reps for him to get comfortable with, and hopefully he does.
Let's get J-Mac in here for a second. When you're trying to defend a guy like Caleb, do some of the issues that Dan just highlighted make it a little easier for the defender?
It can go both ways because the tough thing, and we saw that in both halves with Caleb Williams. In the first half where he's dropping his eyes, now he's looking to scramble. So there were opportunities where he didn't get the ball down the field, but he was making plays with his legs. And there's nothing more terrifying for a defense than when you have a quarterback that's as dangerous as him when he goes to tuck it, because now anybody can be open, and now he has all 53 yards at his disposal.
I think one of the things that I would often hear defensive coaches talk about in relation to young quarterbacks that had this in their game was he'll show you where he wants to throw the football. Like his eyes will take you to where the ball wants to go. And I think that's something that he's going to have to learn is when you catch that snap and you're looking right away where you want to go, everyone's just going to play zone against you because you're going to bring all those guys to the party, right? Like, is that something that you guys will pick up on tape and stuff?
Absolutely. Xavier Howard said it about Tua this past week, and where when you take away his first read, he starts to get panicked. What you just described on Caleb Williams, he has the ball, he's looking.
And he looks so quickly.
It's not
like,
there.
Some of those times he caught the snap, and it was like, I want to throw the ball there, and I feel like those are speeding him up.
Yeah.
Vin Johnson had preached to him, get the ball out quick, and completions. So even if it wasn't the home run, he was trying to make as many.
I think he's trying to do the right thing.
It's both ends of the spectrum. From last year where you're holding it too long, now this year you're trying to make sure you get it there right away.
Yeah.
You've got to find some middle ground, and to your point, with the reps eventually.
And then you don't want to go to the extreme of trying to be somebody like a Matthew Stafford, where, Jason McCourty's playing in the center of the field, and I know I wanted to throw it over there, and I'm just looking over here for so long, and then all of a sudden you muddy your picture.
You're watching Stafford now, and you got to go back and probably watch year 2 Matthew Stafford and see the progression to where he got to, where now he can manipulate and move defenses to where he wants.
Would you guys, though, as a defense, would you guys talk about that, like the eyes stuff, and be like, hey, wherever he looks, run?
We used to talk about it with Russell Wilson when he was young and he was in Seattle, where he was so good, but when he would get the ball, he would look for the slant. If the slant wasn't there with Doug Baldwin, now he's taking off. So everybody's prepared, especially the defensive line, to know that everybody's at the point of attack.
That's what the Lions defense will be looking to do this week. Let's get a little bit more on the Lions side of that as we go to the NFL Live Lounge with Peter.
Yes. Good afternoon and welcome to the NFL Live Lounge. The most interesting man in the NFL this week is Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a former #1 overall pick, has played in a Super Bowl, 2 conference title games, and has beaten Drew Brees in New Orleans with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He ranks in the top 40 all-time in NFL history in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and completions. And he's still just 30 years old. On paper, Jared Goff is a made man. And yet, after 1 week of year 10 of his NFL career, the doubters are coming out of the woodwork. See, in the offseason, Goff lost his longtime play caller when his former offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, left Detroit to be the head coach of the rival Bears. Goff's first game without Johnson was dreadful. Detroit's offense was feckless in Green Bay, and Goff didn't look like the guy who Lions fans were chanting, Jared Goff, Jared Goff, for at the NFL draft a year ago. Jared Goff's 5.8 yards per pass attempt on Sunday was close to 3 yards fewer than he averaged last year, when he ranked second in the league behind only Lamar Jackson. Goff threw a pick, he was sacked 4 times, and the fireworks of that offense that he orchestrated last year had no sizzle and no spark. Look, Goff's had great success in this league, but the stat that is being tossed around this week is bleak and damning. In games where Sean McVay and Ben Johnson weren't on his sideline or calling the plays, Jared Goff is now 3-18-1. And the football gods are funny. Guess who he's against this Sunday? You got it. Ben Johnson's Bears. Look, I don't think it's time to panic in Detroit just yet, and Jared Goff is too damn good and too damn accomplished to have to listen to critics after 1 bad game. But if Sunday doesn't go well, if Detroit loses, if Jared Goff falters again, just a year after the Lions were the 1 seed and had the best offense in the NFL, well, we may be having a different conversation on Monday morning.
Oh, I love it. But I want to go to the lounge. I guess we all just went there together. Peter, beautiful.
What a nice piece by Peter. Now, the only thing I would say is it's early September. Maybe we could have a fall setting. You know, we say that for November,
was too cozy.
December.